Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Sandra Turner, host of the Praxi Pod, and today we have live from Paris, Miss Morgane Calenca. How are you, Morgane?
I'm really good. Hi, everyone.
So, thank you for coming on the Praxi Pod today. We've got a few little questionettes that we're going to ask Morgane. Given we just in the kind of the transition between 2024 and 2025, I suppose the first question was really, I suppose, around insights and kind of learning. We're just in the process of, exiting 2024 and entering 2025. Given the stuff that you've been seeing and what you've been working with us on, in the Praxi Advisory Board and what you've been seeing in your organisation and the kind of organisations you're talking to, what's the biggest insight and learning from 2024 so far? Any thoughts?
Well, first, thanks for asking the question. I'll try to make it simple. I'm pretty sure everyone already has a lot of good ideas of their biggest personal insight around data and AI. So I'll make it simple and I'll make it short. What I've been analyzing for the past year is mainly that definitely AI is everywhere now. Companies cannot not afford AI initiatives. So it's been something that we need to do. It's something that we need to take into account. However, though, I think what we have all end up as a conclusion around AI is that AI by itself is definitely not a solution. It's a tool that is becoming an enabler that is actually speeding up some actions, but at the end, it remains a tool. And what is key for me is to really keep in mind that AI might not be the right tool for everything and for every need. It's really key to get that in mind, because we all get crazy, and let's say it sounds good somehow to say, oh, I'm using AI, I'm doing AI use cases, and indeed it is, but it has to remain coherent with the needs that we are trying to respond to. And for me, and I think I will go a little bit to what we need to take into account and keep into account for 2025, is that AI solution, no matter what is that solution, will only properly work if we are taking care of the fundamentals around data, which is mainly based on data quality, data organization, data management. Because to say something that we all know, but I think it's still good to remind it, shits in, shits out. So if we don't have right data, if we don't have a proper data well organized, if we don't have a clear vision of what we want to achieve, you can put whatever you want as AI solution, even the best that can exist on the market, or even invent a new one, it won't work, and the client might end up frustrated. So really, I think it's key to manage expectation around AI, use it properly in coherent way, and always ensure that the data you are using is clean and well organized. That's my mainly, I would say, key message. I know I'm not saying anything revolutionary here. I think everyone that is evolving in the data field already knows what I'm saying. But I really do matter that if someone is listening to that podcast today and might not be evolving in its everyday life in the data field, really needs to understand that AI by itself, with not the right data in it, it won't work. For me, the main message I would say to remain.
Okay. No, that's interesting. So I think so. What you're saying is that I think you said that AI is not a silver bullet for everything, but also that it's also just a tool, and it's also about getting the if you put the wrong information into this super duper capability, then you might not get the right outcome.
That's it.
I know you articulated a slightly different way to what I just said, but
I wasn't right rephrasing.
no, it's interesting because I think it's funny how that topic as you raised is not a new topic, but actually maybe what I think what you're amplifying is that it's becoming an essential critical topic, because otherwise you can't get to the outcome you want, because you've got to do the hard yards and fix that problem that's been out there for a while. But I won't say people have been ignoring it, but they haven't been really putting all their effort into getting that sorted out. And also, while your data is increasing in volume and veracity and complexity, if you just keep putting it in the car park, oh, we'll do it. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it mañana. Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, and I said that I would love to see some data scientists more digging into AI solutions that are speeding up data cleaning. Because and I get the point why we are trying to find the right AI use cases to generate additional benefit or leverage an existing product or create a new one. And what I'm not seeing really yet or not enough is use cases using AI to facilitate the day-to-day life of people that are really working around data quality, data control. In my previous experience, I would have loved to have an AI helping me anticipating data quality issue or helping me not anticipating, but maybe, okay, there is an issue, help me figure out where is that issue, where is the root cause, and help me solve that root cause so I can speed up. Because usually what I've been seeing is that we don't have enough powerful tool to be able to clean rapidly that data quality issue, and that makes sometimes data and data expert in difficulty, and also in difficulty to prove the added value.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
what
what you're highlighting, it's a difficult, dirty, painful job to do, but it's a necessary evil, you could say. But then also, what you were saying, I think, we're starting to talk about how can you apply AI machine learning potentially to help you to fix that problem, so you can fix the actual overall AI plan.
Because usually AI solutions are putting on existing IT ST system, so we are plugging something that is based on data with a legacy, and usually that legacy, because we all learned from years to years, and we all made mistakes. Let's be honest. It's still something new. And when we when the company first started to collect all the data, they might have not properly organized those data, which was completely normal, because again, we were not really understanding back at the time what we are doing. So when we are integrating AI solution, they have to evolve in that legacy, and we are not enough trying. Why some AI solutions are not working that well, it's because we are not taking into account that legacy. So when we start from something new from scratch, like a new use case, it's easy because you start from scratch, it's a blank page. But usually what you want to do is to reinforce, to optimize the existing. And I think what maybe hypothesis to dig in is, okay, what is my legacy? How can I optimize that legacy so then in the coming month I would be even more performant, because I would have cleaned up my legacy, I would have reorganized it properly, clean it correctly, and then I will really optimize all my data assets.
I mean, it's interesting, because what you're raising is the whole thing about what we call brownfield versus greenfield. Yeah. So all the sexy stuff is where you've got the blank sheet of paper, and it's a completely greenfield. You can set it all up properly, and it all looks sexy and everything like that. But then what you're dealing with, I suppose, in banks, and as we're finding in insurance companies, we had a really interesting meeting just before Christmas with a very, very large global insurer, and they said that over 50% of their data is still sat on the mainframe. But also, so data availability and consistency and trusted data across all their operations in multiple countries, tens of countries, is a huge issue. So that's just amplifying what you just said about don't forget the stuff that you started with, because actually there's a lot of value there. How do you get consistency across all your data sets? But it's interesting. I think one of the things that triggered as well when you were talking was about the role. So in your experience, who actually is responsible for? You could say the chief data officer could be responsible for data quality, or the business unit you're working with. But then I suppose in the people who actually try and address this, because you've got all these different roles, you've got data scientists, you've got data analysts, you've got data engineers, etc., etc. Did you see consistency in how people are addressing it, or is that part of the chaos that's going on as well? how you organize yourself to organize the data.
Okay, again, I'm going to say something that everyone already knows, but everyone somehow is responsible for data. So for me, the main role of the chief data officer is to define the strategy, where we want to go, what is the target that we want to achieve in terms of data organization, data management. However, we need all the players around the table to deploy that strategy. And it means also that when defining that strategy, we need to take into account all the business lines, needs and objectives. So it's really a matter of the entire company. It goes from the CEO down to, if we go for a bank, down to the guy who is working in a bank agency. Everyone needs to exactly, everyone is involved, needs to be involved. But to make those people involved, one of the role of the CDO and its team is to have people understanding the added value of why we are asking them to do that. So there is a huge work of acculturation around data to keep reinforced, because CDOs are already doing that, already really working on acculturation, but it takes time. And if we look at the studies,
so you're saying how that strategy gets embedded into the day-to-day, so people feel the ownership continually. They don't just do it as we're going to do it this week, we're going to have a bit of a blitz on it this week, and then we're going to go on to something else and leave that behind. Is that what you kind of see?
And it's key to understand for managers that no matter what you do, no matter what is your plan, studies have been proving that a change management, including data, takes 5 years. You can do whatever you want, it takes 5 years. So it takes time. So you will have quick wins on the road, but at the end you need to accept that it takes time for people to have their mind evolving, to have them understanding why we are asking them, and not to drop too quickly the idea or the path that we are starting. And another insight that I would bring for 2025, but it's something that we've been already all having as CDOs and people again working in data field, is being able to clearly define the ROI of a data initiatives. You're smiling because I'm always like repeating it again and again and again, but it's key, because it's key for data people when they are trying to convince their company that we need to go for that data use cases, to prove that by investing this we will earn that. And earning doesn't mean direct benefits. It also could.
Or is that kind of
implies indirect
intangible versus tangible? Is that what you kind of say?
Exactly. And it's not always easy to be able to prove that launching data quality use cases is bringing value, because it's not tangible. However, it could be interesting for companies to say, okay, you know what? Let's stay in the finance industry. And when you are typically working in a bank, you have, I'm talking for European banks, we have the BCE. And the BCE, if you're not reaching their expectation, you might have a fine, or you might be blacklisted or whatever. And being able to work on data quality, and so meeting those expectations, can brings you earning indirect benefit, because at the end you won't get that fine. So it's economy, it's not generating money, but it's earning money because you're not having to pay those fines or being blacklisted. And it's also another way to, so it's really key.
I mean, usually, people will say, does it regenerate revenue? Does it cut costs, or does it keep us compliant? And I think what you're talking about there is the last one, with the regulatory, I know that obviously with the stuff that you've done before, that you've had there's a lot of activity in that area that actually can go, if you don't communicate about it, it goes unknown. People just assume it's just getting done. But actually, the downside of not doing it is significant.
Yeah, I mean, there's communication, obviously, but there's also, simply when you have an audit and that audit proves that you haven't organized as it was expected your data, or you're not able to bring or provide the right reporting with the right KPIs or whatever, then at the end, you might have to upgrade your existing system, and it costs you a lot of money.
Yeah.
So working on those in advance, or again, putting AI to help you speed up or anticipate the next move could also be very beneficial for the companies.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see, you've obviously been reading some of my blog, you see, because obviously just before Christmas, I put out a blog announcing that in this month we're going to be launching our Praxi ROI model. So where you can actually calculate what would be the benefit of embracing Praxi for these types of
And
initiatives.
I'm very proud of that.
But Morgane's going to be marking it out 10, B minus, must try harder, Andrew. It's like no, A plus, shine star. No, that's great. There's some great insights and great actions there. I think you're right. Is that it's there's some good. It's not a silver bullet. You've got to get the foundations right. But also that thing about change management, it's not an overnight thing. It's just you don't flick a switch and suddenly it's all sorted.
It takes time. Yeah.
And that requires a Herculean amount of effort to keep the engagement up. And then I think your last
effort, but also sponsorship from the top management, and it's key because if you don't have the sponsorship of the top management, you won't get very far. That's why I would say transformation around data starts with the top management. If you manage to convince the top management, then the whole company will follow.
And then
actually, it's really an action that needs to come from the top and then the bottom. It doesn't come from the bottom. It needs to come from the top.
Well, I suppose that's the thing is as the dust starts to settle in 2025, we'll start to see organisations who have really walked the talk and actually grabbed the nettle, addressed it, and then people that are maybe falling behind or not getting quite where they want to get to. Maybe it's because they haven't actually, addressed those things. But I think your last one was about the ROI. I think it's a raging debate about how do you best articulate the value, and because you've got to invest something to get that payback and get the ROI on that investment. And it also it's not even with software today. It's not as though you just kind of flick a switch. You've got to put people around it as well. Those things called humans, I think. We need some humans.
Yeah, something like that.
Until all the robots take over. But maybe the
No, you're right, Andrew. And again, and I think we are many to have that vision. Working with data implies that you're not working alone and you're embracing the key people in your company. It's really a matter of a team, and not only data teams. You need to imply your commercial team, your marketing team, your digital teams, your IT team, obviously, because again, and I'm always saying that the success of a data initiative comes from the success of a triptych, and the triptych is made of data, IT, and business. If those three ones not working together, no matter what is the organization. So sometimes it's easier in some companies, it's more complicated in other. It really depends on the organization. But at the end, you need to have those three key peoples, really, because one brings the concrete vision of what we need to achieve for the company to generate benefits. The other one brings the technical aspect of the solution, definitely the IT. And then you have the data guy or girl bringing the assets that will enable you to use the solution to achieve the target, the commercial target that you have defined. So really that triptych is definitely key.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree, and I think the thing is, the data team, to my mind, is like doing that interpretation between the business and the technology side, the business and technical, it's acting as a bridge. And as we probably both can explain from our previous histories, you get into when you're testing data, you end up remembering all these product numbers and all these customer numbers and all these hierarchies that you go, how sad are you? You can remember all those things, and you go, it's embedded in my brain now. Anyway, we won't go down that rabbit hole today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Morgane, for joining us on this short little snippet of an insight into what we saw in the rearview mirror for 2024 and what we're seeing as kind of compelling actions for organizations in 2025. I'm sure Morgane's going to come back in future, which I'm going to drag her back onto the show for a full episode, and we're going to go into some more rabbit holes in the future with data, AI, and Gen AI on the Praxi Pod. So thank you,
With pleasure.
Thank you, Morgane.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Have a lovely day.
You too. Bye.